Hey, buddy. Eyes up here. You failed this city. Wow. I know. Hey, quit messing around.
Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well. For you guys.
Easy, miss. I got you.
You've got me! Who's got you?
Get you the right. What's the difference between you and me?
I'm not wearing hot.
Damn, it's being human.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Slav's Free Talk, the Watchtower, where we talk all things DC. I am Slav, and this should be a fun episode. It's all, well, with the exception of one little thing, it's Supergirl-centric, guys. It is all Supergirl all the time today. Kind of. But regardless, I think this should be a fun episode. We're going to talk about the potential or possible or rumored screening that happened for Supergirl, as well as the puppy bull spot that we got with the amazing looking puppy Crypto. Should be a lot of fun. How's it going, everybody? Glad you can make it today. Glad you can listen in. And Trayvon says echo. I'm not sure. Am I echoing? Or is it just a thing that you're saying? I don't know. Kevco says, hey, Trev. So we got a couple people in here. We got a couple people in here for the live chat. That's fine. But yeah, we're going to move forward and talk about, look, real quick. If you don't catch the show live, you can always watch us on replay, or you can find us on your podcatching app, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, something like that. And you can listen to us on your drive to work or your drive home from work or something like that. Trayvon says the intro was echoing. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'll have to figure out why that was doing that. Interesting. Okay. I didn't change anything, so it shouldn't have been echoing. Damn StreamYard. All right. Let's get on now. Let's get on to the stories. The first thing I want to talk about here is a random, not so much a random, but a weird post, I guess, from James Gunn on Instagram on his story yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. It shows Swamp Thing holding some flowers with a bird up in the tree, all this foliage around him. I need to wonder, does this mean something is coming with Swamp Thing? Because we know that Swamp Thing was announced back in 2023? What was it, January 2023 when he made that announcement? Or was it 2024? I don't even remember anymore. Yeah, I mean, he typically, if he shares a picture of a character of some sort, if it's an anniversary of that character or something, he will state that. But this was just kind of thrown on his Instagram stories. To me, it makes me think, like, I don't know if there's going to be any kind of announcement or anything is imminent, but I think that he may actually be working with James Mangold or someone on a script for the movie at this point. Again, he may not be working directly like on it himself, but maybe they have started that process at this point. Or maybe Swamp Thing's going to pop up in something down the line here soon. I don't know. But I think that's kind of the good guesstimation when it comes to it, because think about it. Like, again, he typically will show the picture and like, hey, this came out in such and such a day from this artist, this writer, blah, 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 and everything like that. But then he doesn't do that here. And there's been no rumor, no talk about them having a film finished or written or anything for it. So personally, I do think that it's one of those things where maybe they're finally working on it in the background, and he just kind of threw that up just like, it's on his mind. Swamp Thing is on his mind right now. So I love to see it. I love to see the DCU growing and thriving as it is. Maybe that's another thing. Because look at Swamp Thing in this picture here, and he's sitting there. He's growing. He's thriving with all the foliage, all the life that's growing off of him and around him. So maybe he's just saying, "Look, the DC's thriving." Who knows? Who knows? But it is exciting nonetheless. Now, next up, last week, actually just a few days ago, we were told via social media by a couple people that there was a screening of Supergirl. Now, whether it's true or not, that's to be seen, but apparently there was a screening. The first one came from Axel Talks Film, and he posted this on social media. He said, Warner Brothers held a test screening for Supergirl sometime this past week, and I've talked to somebody who was there and saw it. States Lobo has a substantial role in the film and is crucial to the ending. Krem is described as extremely menacing and a tremendous villain. Says the cinematography is an upgrade compared to Superman's, with a specific hallway scene compared to the action sequences of those in Daredevil and Guardians 3. It says it's much darker and serious in tone than Superman, with the human trafficking and violence being prominent. And it's described as a perfect balance of humor, darkness, and lightness. And Axel says, and as obvious it is, Lobo is very much in the future plans going past Supergirl. They know what they have in Momoa. Playing this character and hearing this confirms that even further. So that came from Axel. And some people, you would take that and say, okay, just some random person maybe. Like, does he actually know somebody? Again, whether you follow the person or not, whether you understand what they say or not, whether you believe what they say or not, taking the word of just one person is never a good thing when you're talking about the pop culture and the film realm, because people love to try and get that clout, love to try and get that notoriety. And this could have been, I'm not saying it's false. I'm just saying when I saw this, I said, okay, that's interesting, but I'd like to hear from other people. But then you have Cryptic HD Quality, who shared it and says the screening was today, actually, unless there was another secret one earlier on. All this lines up, though. Only difference is both my sources didn't like Krem and thought he was lame and underwhelming. I couldn't find the other post, but there was another post that I saw as well that stated that from the screening, people stated that the film felt like Guardians of the Galaxy, Man of Steel, and a few other films as well. That's fine. You know, again, this excites me. I think for me, I'm excited to see and hear that Lobo has a substantial role in the film. Momoa is a great actor. I actually just watched The Wrecking Crew the other day. Him and Bautista were fantastic in that film. It was a lot of fun. But it just showed me how fun Jason Momoa can be on screen if he's given a role that he really loves. And we know that Lobo is a role that he has coveted for quite some time, and I think he's going to be fantastic in it. So seeing that he has a substantial role in the movie is great, and that has this whole, or it adds to this whole thing that, hey, Lobo's going to be around for a while. They're probably going to do a movie with him. They're probably going to, first off, when you have an actor at the caliber of Momoa, you're not going to just have him as a side character in movies here and there. You can absolutely do a Lobo film and have some fun with him. The Krem stuff, we're hearing multiple things. I've heard some things that he's not that great of a villain. I think you've all heard that as well. And then here saying that Krem is menacing and a tremendous villain. I think it's probably going to be one of those things where it's in the middle. I think some people are going to love him. Some people are going to hate him. Some people are just going to be like, eh. But I think it's more people are going to just think, he's your typical superhero film villain, which is unfortunate. But the movie is going to be focused on Supergirl. Supergirl is the focus, not Krem of the Yellow Hills. The cinematography is an upgrade, which absolutely should be. I know a lot of people hated the cinematography of Superman, and I admit it wasn't the best, but it wasn't terrible, as bad as some people say it was. So yeah, I'm excited to see that. It says the action sequences are like Daredevil, and Guardians 3, which is a lot of fun when it comes to a specific hallway scene. And they say it's much darker and serious in tone than Superman, which was to be expected when you take a look at the inspiration for this movie. The story of Woman of Tomorrow. That story is more dark. It is not as lighthearted as other comic book stories. Now, that doesn't mean you can't put some levity in it. That doesn't mean that the ending, which is fantastic, isn't very hopeful and inspiring. But the majority of the film makes sense that it's going to be dark. For me, I think this is great to hear. I love seeing this. We're going to probably see over the next few months a few more things that come out that say, hey, there's more screenings and this and that. But you're going to see that it's going to be well received. I think what's going to happen is people are going to get upset. A certain group of people are going to get upset that it's being well received at these screenings, and they're going to try and twist the narrative. I hope they don't do that, but they're going to. They absolutely will. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is this something that you're excited to hear? Do you like seeing that this is what's happening with Supergirl? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Excuse me. Sorry. That was unattractive, huh? Let's see. And Donovan says, I can't wait for Supergirl. I am loving what I'm hearing. That's good. And Trayvon says, I'd like to see Vincent D'Onofrio, a Swamp Thing. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm not a big... I'm a fan of Vincent D'Onofrio, but I'm not big on that casting, that fan casting. I think he's not the best choice. I mean, he'd be good. He would be good, but I'm sure there's others that could be just as good, if not better. Donovan says, of course, Jarbo is complaining about Supergirl color grading. Meanwhile, the final product isn't even out. Well, let's also not forget that in what they're showing us, they're on a specific planet that's supposed to look dark and dreary and dire and dry. It's supposed to just not look great. The cinematography, though, looks fantastic. Look at this photo that I have up right here of Supergirl. This looks great. It's lit perfectly. It is lit perfectly, and you get a great sense of what they're going for with the character. I don't think people like Matt Jarbo. He's just going to complain. Johnny Dome says, Yambo Davidson did a video on me and you and some others. I saw you sent me a message about that. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who Yambo Davidson is. Is he the guy that made that video of me where he said that I used ChatGPT or something like that, and had me eating a hamburger and drinking a Coke and stuff like that? If that's that guy, yeah, I mean, whatever. Look, it just means what I'm saying is getting to them, and that's fine with me. I don't care. He can talk about me all he wants. I mean, I'd be interested to see the video. I just don't know. I don't really care, actually. Donovan says, I mean, in Woman of Tomorrow, Krem was one-dimensional because it was all about Supergirl. Exactly. He also says, another person I talked to said that there isn't a hallway scene, but something that is akin to it. So that comes from Donovan. Okay, that's interesting. Kevco says, dealing with people twisting the narrative goes with being a DC fan these days. Indeed, it does. Indeed, it does. All right. Now, we're going to move on to the next thing, which, look at this. Look at this. Look, I got pulled up bigger. Look at him. Look at him. It's Puppy Crypto. It's Puppy Crypto looking like the goodest boy there is. Look at him. He's absolutely adorable. I love it. I think it's great. We got this poster yesterday, right after or was it right before, right after the teaser dropped on the Puppy Bowl. And it is fantastic. I think, look, I'm a sucker for cute, adorable animals. Crypto and Superman was cute and adorable and fun, but you can definitely tell what they're going for here. Okay, let's not beat around the bush here, because we know what they're doing. Okay, they saw what happened with Star Wars with Grogu and Baby Yoda Grogu. They saw what happened there, and they understand that, hey, kids and adults love cute, adorable, animalistic things. And whether it's kids, whether it's women, even men enjoy it. Who didn't love Grogu those first couple seasons? He was fantastic. They're doing the same thing with Crypto. That's not a bad thing. It's not. It's great. I love to see it. What really makes me mad are people like this. Leonidas on X says, "How effing embarrassing for DC. Pity the fool that pays to see this garbage." And this is a scene taken from the teaser for the trailer where Crypto has something in his mouth and he just looks adorable. He's a little messy and like he was playing in the mud. And he's saying, embarrassing for DC. Well, let's not forget that DC can be fun. Comics can be fun. There are many instances within comics, within this genre of film and literature, that there are moments like this in DC as well. So to sit there and say this is embarrassing for DC, that's pathetic. Just because not everything is dark and gritty and dreary and depressing, and that doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's bad. You have to have some levity sometimes. And utilizing Crypto is a very smart way of doing that because it's going to reach not just the adults, but the kids as well. We talked about that with Superman, and they're going to do the same thing with Supergirl. And why the hell not? Why shouldn't they? It makes too much sense not to do it. Because people loved Crypto and Superman, and James Gunn knew they were going to love him. And now that's why they allowed it, or they didn't allow, but they made sure to have him in the Supergirl movie because people are going to, that's going to be your through line. Your through line is going to be Crypto. Like for some people, that's what it's going to be. And I saw this poster, the goodest boy out there, and I had to show it to my 5-year-old daughter immediately because she was one of the ones that was so excited about Superman and Crypto. And she specifically wanted to go see the movie because of Crypto. And she loved it. Well, guess what? She's going to want to go see Supergirl now because of Puppy Crypto. She thinks he's adorable. So that's the beauty of doing things like this. When you're not just trying to pander to one section of fans, you're trying to reach a general, wider, large audience. So you're going to have moments in the movie that are a little darker. You're going to have the humorous moments. You're going to have the cute and adorable things. You're going to have everything like that to hit all of the major areas that need to be hit when you're the quadrants, as they call them, the 4 quadrants, to make sure that everybody is going to enjoy the movie. I get that people think that, oh, you can only do dark and serious with DC, but that's not true. The most successful DCEU film was Aquaman, which was not dark and dreary. It was very colorful. It was very funny. It was very hopeful. It had a lot of more humor in it than anything else. And it was the highest grossing DCEU movie. So to sit there and act like, oh, DC can only do this, no, it's not. That's not true. But don't forget that we're going to have Lanterns, which is going to be more serious and more adult. We're going to have Clayface, which is going to be a horror-esque type of film. Like, we're getting all of these different things, but we're allowed to have this. We are. And it's okay. That doesn't mean it's bad. That doesn't mean it's terrible. Now, this is all coming from what we've seen so far. The movie could suck. Obviously, anything could ever suck. But as we sit here and try to understand why James Gunn has done what he's done and what he's doing, you need to sit back and say, this makes sense. Instead of sitting there, running around, acting like a complete tool bag because my Zack Snyder didn't get to finish his work. Well, when you do that, you look like a complete idiot. And yeah, I mean, you know what's embarrassing? You know what's effing embarrassing, Leonidas? You're effing embarrassing because you're making fun of a CGI animal for a movie that, hey, that animal wasn't put in there for you. It was put in there for another section of the audience. And that's okay. Because you don't understand how the industry works, you're the one that looks like an idiot. You're the one that's embarrassing. So she won that for a little while. That's all I have to say. But I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts about this, about the goodest boy poster there is with Crypto, Puppy Crypto. I think it's great. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Oh, what do we got here? Jonathan goes, baby. Of course people will hate on this. Of course. Even Jarbo had a GIF reaction saying, meh, he definitely hates dogs. Jeez. But the fact they are showing us how Crypto and Kara met will be a major storyline in it, or when it happens to Crypto, it will be prime emotional impact. I for sure, yeah, I know what you're talking about, and it will. Again, you got to build up the character and understand where Kara got crypto. That's another thing. Like, you just have this superpowered dog. Give us some backstory and showing him as a pup and her meeting him. That's fantastic. I love it. Donovan also says, even though this didn't happen in the comic, but they are exploring this in the film, is genius. It absolutely is. All right. Now, here's some more baby cryptos. And it just, he looks so adorable. Look at him. And he's all dirty. Like, look. And if you're a dog, like if you have a dog, if you're an owner of a dog, you can relate to the first time you saw your dog as a puppy, or the first time he ran outside and got all muddy because he was playing like a puppy, and things like you can relate to this kind of stuff. And that's what's great. That's what's great about it. All right. So here it is, the new Supergirl trailer. Now, I want to talk about this a little bit here and give my thoughts on it while we kind of go through it. A lot of it is the same footage that we've seen already in the initial teaser that we got back in December. But there are some new things. Again, it's more crypto-centric because of when they released this, which was at the Puppy Bowl. I want to give James Gunn and DC Studios credit, though. After the debacle that was last year's 2025's Puppy Bowl, and everybody thinking that they were going to get something really cool, a new trailer, a new something, whatever it was, at the Puppy Bowl, and then it didn't happen like we all expected, they made sure that this year they got it right. And they did. They absolutely got it right. They had a nice little piece with Millie Alcock sitting there talking and things like that. And they also had this new additional teaser for the film. 45 seconds or so. It's not long, but it gives us just a little more taste, a little more feel, a little more explanation to what is going on in this movie. Again, we're not going to know the full details probably until the full trailer comes out, which my guess will probably be April-ish is my guess. That's just my thought. I'm thinking it's probably going to be around April, March, late April, or late March, early April, maybe, something like that. It's just a guess. It could come sooner. Who knows? But again, yeah, so let's get into it. Let's get into it here. So no noise. Because of reasons, but this is where we get our first little glimpse of crypto here, kind of chewing on something there, kind of digging while this funeral progression is going on, or procession is going on. And I sit here, I wonder, first off, who's this funeral for? Who is this? They've shown it now twice, so this is going to be a major impactful moment in the movie, specifically for Kara. So what is it? Because we know they're on Krypton here. So what is this that's happening? Like what is causing them to have this funeral? My guess, because I haven't seen her yet, maybe I missed it, is it's Kara's mother. Because we do see Kara's father in here, but I have not seen her mother. So in the chat, let me know if I maybe missed it. Maybe I'm onto something, maybe I'm not. So there we go. We got crypto. And again, they're sticking with the funeral. This is going to be something big, impactful in the movie. Maybe it's something that she dreams while she's dreaming. She's dreaming of this, and that's kind of what's causing her to be so depressed. And maybe this is just a flashback we see in the beginning of the movie. I don't know. We'll see, though. We'll definitely see. Let's see. And then we see crypto. Again, it was very crypto-centric, crypto-heavy in the beginning of this teaser and throughout it a little bit. But crypto is important. Like, we're going to see that crypto is an important part of Kara's life. And there's right next to Kara there is her father. And again, like you said, I see Donovan here says her father looks grief-stricken. You're right. And why wouldn't she be next to her mother? Why would her mother not be there? That's why I think the funeral is for her mother. That's just what I believe. And look, come on. He's adorable. He is absolutely stinking adorable. You can't not think he's people, I tell you. And then we get a shot of Ruthie, who is going to be, the second lead of the film, essentially. She's kind of the driving force behind the main narrative of the movie. So we see her again. We've seen her a couple times in other teasers. And we see Kara at the bar getting drunk. And then we see the destruction of her city, of the planet. And then we see, again, we're seeing shots that we already saw in the teaser before, which is a great line. Then we see crypto again. Again, that shot, this one here, I think was in the teaser, but the shot just before it, I don't think was this. I don't think this was in the last teaser. I don't think it was, but maybe it was. I don't know. Now this, guys, this is going to be rough. This is truly going to be rough, because this is going to be the moment that, I think this is why, as Donovan was alluding to, you need to have that moment where Kara meets Crypto and becomes an important part of her life because of this moment here. Then we see some fighting and Supergirl flying up to the sun, probably to get kind of powered up a little bit. And then we saw this in the last teaser as well. So that's it. I mean, oh, and another little shot of Crypto at the end. But again, that's it. That's all it really is. And regardless of that, it's still great because we're seeing more footage. It looks fantastic. It looks like it's going to be tons of fun. Crypto, guys, come on. Crypto looks fantastic. I love it. I love seeing Crypto in this way. I love that he, I can't say any more than I have about Crypto because he just looks great. He really, truly does. Right now, as you can see here, with my like, it has 23,000 likes to 660 dislikes and just over 400,000 views after 20 hours. That's all right. That's to be expected. Look, this isn't a Batman. This isn't a Spider-Man. This isn't Superman. So the views and the excitement around this movie aren't going to be as high early on as they will be once the movie is much closer. That's why I constantly say, look, I think this movie is going to do well, but I don't see it doing more than Superman. It could, that'd be fantastic, but I don't see it doing more. So it's possible, but maybe not. But for me, I think it's doing great. Let's see what some of the comments here. We see Socks. Do you really know? No, I can't say names. It says Crypto as a puppy is so cute, indeed. Let's see. This guy says, I hope we get to see Kara's dad's speech in live action. All the Krypton flashbacks really showed why Kara deserved to be in the escape pod. Is that baby Crypto? The first half really got me. Again, it's showing you the emotional impact, the importance of what that moment, what that scene is going to be for Kara. So it did a really good job. As you see, it's getting to people. People loving Crypto. Came from the Puppy Bowl to watch this again. Love that y'all dropped this during the Puppy Bowl. I'm really excited for this movie. Can't wait to see more Kara. Never clicked on anything so fast in my life. Kara first meets Crypto. The fauna of Krypton in the Silver Age, from which Superman and Supergirl are very inspired in the DCU, is super hilarious. There are normal animals such as cute cats and dogs, and there are dinosaurs and dragons. Yeah, it's so weird. But anyways, oh my god, look at him. I really like Supergirl. I can't wait for this movie. Little puppy Crypto is so cute. Never knew there was things about showing that dog of a puppy. Okay. Oh, I can't wait for this movie. So cute, super cute. I would go to war for puppy Crypto. This movie looks really fun. And kids, that's how the DCU is all about the new DCU is all about one dog. It's not all about one dog. But the fact that they have two movies that it makes sense for him to be in, then you're going to highlight that. But again, people need to realize it's not all about Crypto. This story, granted, this story does have a lot to do with Crypto, but that's what the comic did. So looks super. Memo to James Gunn. You don't need Batman right now. You're killing it with Superman's world. Play with that sandbox and let Matt Reeves do his thing. When he's done, then do Batman. P.S. Puppy Crypto. I kind of disagree. I'd like to see Batman in the DCU, but that's only because I'm not a big fan of Matt Reeves' Batman. Jess says, so adorable. Feed Palia says, Puppy Crypto. High Hope says, Dimension Belly. The cutest duo you want to see in big screen. Oh my God, Crypto is so cute. And there's so many more. I mean, you can just go down the line. Everybody's talking about Crypto. Again, like I said, it just makes sense. It makes sense to have that dog in there because he's going to reach people. People are going to think he's adorable, think he's great, think he's fun. And if that's the draw to pull you in to then see this great film, then so be it. That's called marketing. That's called being a good writer. That's called actually understanding what you're doing with a universe and not just relying on the shock and awe of deaths and the shock and awe of cliffhangers that aren't very good cliffhangers and things like it's just, that's kind of how you do it. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Supergirl teaser from the Puppy Bowl. What did you think? Did you enjoy it? Do you like it? And what do you think? When do you think we're going to get the full trailer for Supergirl? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's see. Donovan says it really is more powerful seeing that Kara finds her best friend when her mom passed, almost like if in one way or another the Krypton gods are looking after her. That's a great way to look at it for sure. Great way to look at it. All right. Well, that's it, guys. I didn't have much more to talk about today. I really didn't. Donovan says, I have a feeling in the official trailer we will hear XL's score. It depends on how much work he's gotten done with it. I mean, he's got 4 or 5 months to get his score done. When did he get hired? When did he come in? When did he start? That's kind of the big thing. That is the big thing there. But yeah, I don't really have. Let me just double check, make sure nothing else popped up before I get out of here. Let's see. I don't think so. No, it doesn't look like it. So yeah, it's a shorter episode today, but there wasn't much for me to talk about. I will be back on Friday with Reality Check, DC Reality Check, because I've already found some winners for this week. Don't worry. And yeah, we'll go from there. Geepers is here. Oh, where'd you go? Geepers says, my 8-year-old daughter saw it and smiled when she saw Crypto. She looked at me and asked, we are seeing that, right? It's beautiful. Hunter says, did you see James Gunn post a picture of Swamp Thing? Sure did. I talked about that right in the beginning of the show. I had it right here. There you have it. So yeah, I did see that. Talked about it early on. All right. That's great to hear, Geepers. I hope your 8-year-old loves it. I know my 5-year-old, my 7-year-old, and honestly, my 11 and 12-year-olds are all going to love this movie because they liked Superman, so I know they're going to like this. And that's okay. Not everything has to be so dark and dreary and for adults. We're going to get some of that. Don't worry. But not all of it has to be like that. But yeah, this was a shorter episode, guys. If something pops up this week, maybe I'll do another live stream on Wednesday, maybe Thursday. I don't know, but I will definitely have Reality Check on Friday. So be on the lookout for that. But with all that said, guys, thank you for joining me today, and I will catch you all later.